Word Balloon is brought to you by the League of Word Balloon Listeners. Greetings. Welcome back. We're sorry we're a couple days late. Really over a week late because I was so busy with Baltimore Comic-Con. But it's time again for another Trek Watch. John Suntra's here along with my cohort Francis. Hello, Francis.
Hello.
And we'd have Mitch, but poor Mitch was having connection troubles. We're not sure exactly what was going on, but it was all on his end. So Mitch is not in the Phantom Zone via punishment or disgust on my part, which would be common. But so
you were quite calm with him trying to work out the kinks.
It clearly wasn't his fault, but also I felt bad because I put you guys through hoops, not being able to do the show last week and not being able to do the show yesterday and bumping the time a couple times today because I have been on constant Word Balloon comic podcast mode all week, nonstop.
Yeah.
So, but it's everything's good now, and I'm all caught up. I watched my two episodes of Discovery to catch up. Thank you, Langley. Langley says the Baltimore Comic-Con was worth it. Wayne is excited because he could participate because he's watched all three, and says thanks a lot for the.
Let's kick him out of the chat. No, I'm only kidding.
Exactly, and no, he thanks me for the good con job. Thank you very much. It was my pleasure. And okay, it's true, Langley. Exactly, Mitch's interference is from the mycelial network.
We can have Langley on tonight instead of Mitch.
This is true. Yeah, eventually we will do that.
The last week was my fault too because I was busy with things last week and I couldn't do it. So you're not the only one to blame, Johnny.
Well, that's okay. I'm just hoping, Francis, because I watched episodes 2 and 3 back to back this afternoon, leading up to this moment. And I'm hoping you can explain some of this stuff to me in terms of what the big plot is, because let's start with.
That's too bad because I was hoping you could explain it to me.
Good. Well, we're both struggling. Maybe we'll figure it out. Or if you do know, that's great. All right. So episode 2, Discovery shows up, and we find out that by the end of the episode, spoilers, that it took him a year longer to reach the time zone that Burnham is in.
Now, can I tell you something about? Go ahead. Well,
No. Please, let's start there. No, please.
I was going to say, episode 2, I liked a lot. And it was, it reminded me of a Star Trek episode. It really did. And then I watched episode 3, and it was all Michael Burnham, and I hated the episode. I didn't hate the episode. I disliked the episode, and it was because Michael. I went into it thinking, I liked the first episode. The second episode was great, I thought, and then Michael comes in and does Michael stuff, and it's all Michael, and it's the Michael Burnham show. And hello, welcome to Michael Burnham Discovery, and then I got turned off by it.
Well, I understand what you're saying. I will say this. I am so far liking this season more than I liked the last two.
Yes, I
I
agree with
still
that as
have
well.
I still have my problems with the show. A lot of it being that it's still the Michael Burnham show. But again, you just have to accept that it's Star Trek Burnham. It's not
Right.
Star Trek Discovery. It's
Right.
Star Trek Burnham, and that's fine. Whatever. I give as
See,
far as that goes.
episode 2 was Star Trek Discovery, I thought.
Yeah, but also, okay, so they're in a new time zone. They are the fish out of water, and yet they are the solution to all the problems. And I'll be honest, that is a Star Trek conceit that goes back to the Rick Berman era, the other Berman, Berman as opposed to Burnham, where because that drove me nuts about Enterprise. That Enterprise was like the first deep space missions of Earth, and it was that. And I always use this for shorthand: the aliens stroking their chins and these humans, perhaps they possess an ability far beyond what our expectations. And it's like bullshit. We are the fish out of water. The message should be it's a big galaxy. We don't have all the answers. Yeah, we're fine. We're special. We're not that special. I mean, my God, it's dodgeball. It's grade school dodgeball. Everybody gets a trophy. No, there are winners and there are losers, and there is learning to be done. And you got a little bit of that. But again, it just kind of drove me nuts that they're the great peacekeepers. So that's just one general thing. But again, that I would fault original Star Trek for that as well. The other thing is I'm confused about the ship showed up. I'm sure the crew was displaced, but like Stamets being in the Jeffries tube, that was stupid. It was it's I don't believe this scenario, and I don't
Stamets
believe
is
that
the blonde guy, right? Yeah,
yes,
I think he's the other part I dislike the show. I think
they're all dislikable. I mean, I
the
guess
rest of the
Tilly's
crew.
not
No,
dislikable. Well,
she
our
should
leads
be.
are dislikable.
She should be the most dislikable, Tilly. But I like her a lot because she's the most human, and she's nervous when she goes into situations, and I love that scene with her and Saru. And why he picked her. It is a better season. I agree with you, Wayne. But I don't know. It was just episode 2 is just so much more like Star Trek and so better than episode 3 to me.
Sure, it was a first contact mission. I can appreciate that. We're kind of getting a little more, not really, but at least how that planet worked. We got Marauders. I'm still confused by dilithium having a chain reaction that caused the burn.
Right, they haven't explained that, and
right,
but everybody assumes it just spontaneously exploded.
When they tried to go to warp, when everybody tried to go to warp.
No, if everybody's warp core was active. That's why Discovery was able. Yeah, that's why Discovery was able to explain in the third episode how they returned to Earth. That person on Earth said, "How did you survive?"
Right.
And they said, "Well, we weren't
at warp when
we weren't at warp." Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well,
so
there
should be other. Yeah, there should be other ships out there then, if that
weren't at warp.
True. Mm-hmm.
But if that's the case, if there are other ships out there, then why is everyone disconnected? Or are they disconnected?
Probably because enough of them were destroyed that
I don't buy that. Even if you have one ship, Francis, you can travel it. If you survive the warp mission, and that's where I'm confused because, I don't understand, and also, why dilithium is now safe. And the other further thing that ties in episode 3, God, it's great to see you, Michael. I have information, Saru, but I can't divulge it right now. Once again, fuck you, Burnham. You're in Starfleet. Why don't you sit in the brig while you pout about your information that you can't reveal? Bullshit. I'm sorry. This is what drives me nuts about this show. It has its own rules of reality that don't jive with Star Trek. And it's like, well, I just can't. I just can't. No, you know what that is? Well, I'm sorry, but the writers aren't going to reveal anything until episode 8 or 9 of 10 episodes, or episodes 11 of 12 of 13 episodes. And then I'll be able to tell you. It really doesn't make sense, but please just go along with us, Saru.
Man, your Michael Burnham is right. You're spot on.
Thank you.
That's her. You're speaking. Yeah. You're speaking. Like
oh, I know. Just the terrible burden of being Michael Burnham and all the secrets that she has to hold, and how her whole life sucks shit. Fuck you, Burnham. I don't like you. I just don't like you.
Well, that's what I was saying. I go back to saying episode 2 I liked a lot. I'm like, ooh, this show might be turning around. I liked episode 1, the setup of this, and I kind of, it's a new beginning, so maybe we'll get some Star Trek-y stuff happening. Episode 2 was great. I'm like, oh, I love this. Episode 3, Michael Burnham shows up. I'm like, eh. And right, well, the blonde guy too. I'm like, he's kind of whiny. That guy.
Yeah, everybody's whiny. Everybody's whatever. But all right, a lot of good comments already from everybody. Stephen Ernest it's not really hard to improve over the last 2 seasons. And as Langley said, that entire conversation with Stamets and Jet Reno felt so out of place. I completely, again, it's just and really Jet Reno, another hateful character. Sorry, Tig Notaro, you're too much of a wise ass to really be helpful. You're not Dr. McCoy. I know Leonard McCoy. Leonard McCoy was a friend of mine. You're no Leonard McCoy. I'm sorry. Leonard McCoy.
And wasn't she from a different place too, where they rescued her? I forget because these episodes are so
she was on some station that was all destroyed, and that's how they picked up Jet Reno and stuff. Right. It's the Andromeda story of bringing back. Yes, absolutely, Wayne. No, you're right. It is what they've done with moving Discovery to the future, and I'm sure this was Rod Roddenberry's contribution. Gene Roddenberry's Andromeda, of course, was kind of one of those unfinished projects for people who never did see the show. And it clearly was without having to adhere to us because it wasn't made by Paramount. They basically had, like Wayne said, a Commonwealth as opposed to the Federation. And they were a ship 500 years out of its time warp, or time period, rather. Time warp. See, my
Let's do the time warp again.
Exactly. My brain's still scrambled. But yeah, it's basically the same story, but now they can imprint it on Star Trek because Rod's a participating producer and everything. Langley asks, if the dilithium caused the burn, why does everybody want it so bad? Agreed. They haven't explained how it's now okay to use. Exactly.
Because it's so scarce and valuable now, Langley. It's so scarce and valuable.
No. And there are, and also that dilithium powers everything. No, it just powered the warp drive. And as Stephen points out, there were other methods of warp travel the Romulans used a singularity. And that's, again, I agree, man. And also given where I was going to say, I keep forgetting about time periods here, because by the 24th century, we were working with Romulus until, of course, the Borg cube showed up. So maybe that caused another rift between Earth and the Romulans. I don't know, Picard. But again, this doesn't make sense. Wouldn't we have been conquered by the Romulans if the burn made us lose our dilithium? Again, unanswered questions. It'll be interesting to see how they try to tie it all together, because I had heard, and I'm sure others of you who are watching it heard, that Picard was going to play a factor in explaining this new future of Discovery. So we'll see.
Was it the androids that caused the burn?
Maybe. Could the problem with the dilithium relate to the Next Generation episode where there's a problem going to warp? Yeah, where remember that one, Franco, where they had 2 scientists that said in certain sectors of space, if they went into like higher warp speeds, it would literally cause like tears in the fabric of space. And
I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a good late Next Generation thing. Possibly. As always, I am of the belief that us fans find better solutions to their premises than the writers themselves. Because let's go back to episode 2 and the ice that had fungus in it or whatever it had.
The ice that grew and would destroy you.
And okay. All right. I don't know how that works. I'm sorry. I guess I must have missed that part in.
You don't have to know how it works. It's a foreign planet. It's a
just
alien
go with
planet.
It. Right.
Yeah.
Just go with it. Absolutely, man. And again, it's funny. Langley says, yes, the bridge crew always so insubordinate. Yep. Mm-hmm. Well, that's why, again, Burnham, you've been gone a year. We got to turn left. Now we got to turn right. Yeah, you're right, Burnham.
Ooh, I'll steal a ship and go, and I won't tell you my plan, but Saru will know what I'm talking about because he's a mind reader now.
Okay, and Steven finally says this first season of Andromeda is really good, but they kept rebooting it. Yeah, that's what I heard too. I never really sat down and watched it. I got to meet Kevin Sorbo. He came to our radio station in the 90s at post Hercules, but I think pre Andromeda, and he seemed like a nice guy. But yeah, that's right, sentient ice. Thank you, Wayne. That's exactly. Yeah, sure it is. Whatever. Again, okay. I like really. I am. If you'll forgive me, it might be partially fatigue, but there really is this attitude about Discovery. I'm like, all right. Again, it's Star Trek Burnham. Okay, fine. That's the show you're making, I guess. Whatever. At least we learned. I finally know Eyepiece Girl's name. Good quiz, Francis.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Detmer. It's Detmer.
That's right.
I don't remember the black gentleman's name on the bridge.
I don't know. I can't remember any of them.
Yeah, I don't know. And I still don't know Dreadlock Lady's name. I still don't know Asian guy's name or black guy on the bridge's name. Black guy on the bridge, alert. Sorry, it was there. I don't know. Again, until I know their names, what else am I supposed to say? I don't quite understand. So Asian on the bridge, alert. Eyepiece lady on the bridge, dreadlock lady on the bridge, and Tilly and Saru.
And yeah.
But again, the action happens on the bridge. We need to know these people's names. Please use them. Thank God at least we had a personal log from Burnham as a voiceover to give exposition. I think that was good. Let's see. I at least appreciate that they finally made Saru the captain. Yeah, I agree. Mm-hmm. How can anyone think of making Burnham captain? It's beyond me.
They were going to talk about it, though, Langley. They were going to... And Saru was going to give it to her. So that makes me question his ability leadership. To be captain.
Yeah, his command.
Because he was going to give it to Burnham.
Okay, fine. Of course, Wayne. I'm waiting for John to go on a rant about Burnham saving Discovery at the end of episode 2. Well... But I will see, Wayne, I'm going to disappoint you because I guess she's been there a year. She's working with Book. Obviously, Book's ship has, in ways, superior technology to Discovery. Not in all ways, obviously. Okay. I mean, again, you knew eventually. And, of course, Burnham's going to save day. That's what I'm saying, man. I'm just like, it's Star Trek Burnham. I mean, in ways that all the other shows weren't. That Worf had the answer at the end of the day sometimes. That O'Brien had the answer every now and then. Mm-hmm. It's just fucking annoying. Yeah, Mitch is with us in spirit. Yes. Sorry, Mitch. Indeed. So, Ben, at least Discovery is finally out of the past, agreed, and not mucking up that continuity anymore. Yes and no, because again, I'm waiting for the explanation of what happened, and really, we better know what exactly happened with the burn, because they've laid this shit out now. And for us to just have that unexplored period and just go with us is, I think, a real disservice to us. That it's like, all right, you went here and there is a history. I don't expect to get all the answers, but you kind of have put us in a place of, all right, explain what happened. And please, we're probably going to have to wait until, like I said, it's 13 episodes. So probably until episode 11 or 12 before we really get all the answers. And of course, Michael Burnham is going to be, I can't reveal anything right now. Right. Oh, Langley has another question. Why did the crew of the Discovery go to the future with Burnham? Tillery is so distraught over losing her family. Now it was her choice. No, agreed. Yeah. And that kind of, I never got the chance to say goodbye to my family. Actually, you did. We saw the logs that were being recorded to send to the family and stuff. So
that's right.
Whatever. Again, it's an unnecessary callback that chews up some screen time. That's the thing. They spend far too much time, even at the reunion. hugs, like a 2-minute hug, or at the end of, or even at the end of episode 2, where they finally see Burnham, or the end of episode 3 when they're back at Starfleet Academy and they're literally hugging the tree.
Well,
they are literally tree huggers.
Yeah, I have two comments about that. One, maybe they never sent the logs to anybody because nobody's supposed to know about Discovery, that it ever existed or that it disappeared. So they didn't send the logs. Second, maybe they took everybody's family members and buried them under the tree. So this way, when they're there, they're hugging the tree. They're literally hugging their family members. That's what I'm thinking.
Mitch says they needed Ralph Nader to fix a class action lawsuit. All right. So much for trying to get my Discovery executive producer, director, friend to visit your show. Not that I had any promises at all, but I can't imagine. I can't invalidate your opinion so far. No, I hear you, man. Yes, tree huggers. Seriously, I'm like, and I get it. That's the Boothby tree. Okay, great. Right. But, you know.
Oh, and it's so big. Did you know it gets bigger?
Yeah, that happens with, plants grow. Newsflash, plants grow.
I'm surprised nobody chopped it down.
It's so big. An exploration of a further Trek future than we've ever seen is a great idea. This is where the show should have been from season 1. Yeah, I agree, Ben.
I agree.
Yeah, we all do. And again, it would have solved a lot of frustrations from us longtime Star Trek people.
Yeah, if they had just shunted to the future right at the beginning of that. Yes.
And the reunion, wouldn't it have just been minutes from the point of view of the Discovery crew? Yeah, I suppose, Stephen.
But they just missed her so hard that it felt like a whole year.
Well, and they weren't sure where she was, and that's fine. I mean, I again, it's Star Trek Burnham. I get it. Everyone's worried about Burnham, and that's just the way the show is, I guess. A Western in Space was last week's episode. Agreed. Great idea. It works on The Mandalorian. Yeah.
Ooh, let's talk about The Mandalorian. That was really good.
I did you watch the first episode? I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
I did, yeah.
Is it really good?
It's really good, yeah.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they should hire those guys to do this.
Thanks, Warren. I appreciate it, man. Good to see you on here. Langley, great idea. Just worried about the execution from these producers. Totally, man. And Mitch is saying about Mandalorian, it was great.
Yeah. No. We probably haven't seen the last mullet guy from episode 2. What's his face?
Cal's brother, who once again, we know Cal's name. Let's kill off the character that Cal. Oh no, what are we gonna do, Cal? Oh no, Cal's dead. All right, what about Cal's brother's name? I don't know his name.
A bartender guy. Yeah.
Can't help you. Again, this is the brilliance of that writer's room of Star Trek Discovery. What's his name? We don't know. Just keep going. Fucking frustrating as hell, man. Ben, an explanation of what happened during the burn might be one of those things where they say that a portion of historical records have been lost. Absolutely, Ben. All I know is for the first time I'm starting a season of Discovery excited and not dreading what they're going to fuck up. Well, I can't disagree with you there, man. Absolutely.
I agree with you too, Ben.
Ironically, the first step of Mandalorian feels more Star Trek than Disco. No spoilers, though. All right, fair enough. I look forward to it. The Spore Drive would have made more sense in the future. Yes, to expand the concept of space travel. I agree. Warren, I look forward to individual episodes like the new Pike show we'll have. I have Mandalorian issues as the stories are so simple. But
that's okay. But that's okay. I like that. At least it doesn't make me sit here questioning every minute of the Mandalorian because of the stories. So I'm okay with it.
And Mitch is like, he likes how Burnham just dumps Book. So much for introducing a good new character. We all know that Book is coming back.
Right. Oh yeah.
I mean,
and they were together for a year, and no
sex.
They didn't have sex. No
sex.
No.
I'm assuming
made very clear. No.
I'm assuming a lot of stroking of chests, however, based on how she was zipping up his uniform and everything.
Mm-hmm. Well, so you stroked that a lot too.
I believe there was touching, but not actually humping. So, but yeah, Mitch, if you really think that that's it for Book, you know better than that.
Mitch. Come on. You should have been on the show to explain your point of view. By the way,
that's all right. Yeah, but he managed to do it for his Mandalorian fucking podcast. Kidding. So yeah, what other?
So also the new the Trill.
Yeah. Let's talk about her. Yes, indeed.
Her, him, they.
Yes, forgive me. I believe this is the non-binary character or the transgendered character. I don't mean to disrespect by saying her. I apologize.
Yeah.
Um,
Having said that, she's Trill. So I did like that. I did like that twist where that's who they were looking for, kind of.
And also, at first, I'm like, well, wait a minute, can a human bond with a Trill? And then I remembered that Next Generation episode where they introduced the ambassador that's the Trill that Beverly is into, and Riker has to carry the symbiote. It is interesting that that's happening in the 24th century. Discovery is 100 years behind them or 80 years behind them in knowledge. So I'm sure maybe by the 23rd century, we're able to put symbiotes in our guts.
Well, Burnham does say, "I didn't know that humans could host trills or something like that," doesn't she? That's at one
Somebody
point.
said it. Somebody said it.
So they know about it.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. And again, it's the future.
And she has the memory loss and can't access those memories. So
yeah. So yes, you're right, Mitch. He did. He banged Beverly back in that one. Yeah, I don't think that's God. If it is Dax, that'd be amazing. I'm actually for that. If that Trill ends up being the Dax symbiote surviving. Although I liked when Dax was Nicole DeBurr. I love Jadzia, but I liked Ezri a lot back in the day. That'd be cool. I even liked the guy from the drama Family, that Children of Time Deep Space Nine episode where the guy had the Dax symbiote in that alternate future where the Defiant crashed and they had it was 200 years later and the whole community sprung from their loins, if you will.
Gosh, I got to watch Deep Space Nine again.
See, exactly, and blow off Discovery in the process. I agree.
Next week we're starting with episode 1 of Deep Space Nine.
I don't know when we're gonna do. We keep teasing that original series rewatch. I don't know if I got time for that show. I got to be honest, as we continue to go on, it's like I'm doing too many goddamn shows right now. Deep Space Nine, Jadzia mentions having a fling with McCoy. Yes, indeed, in another life. So the Trills should be known by Disco's time. Well, I think they're known. I think the Trills obviously exist. The Earth leaving the Federation is still confusing to me.
Well,
I don't understand.
They kind of explained that because there was such a void that everybody was just left to fend for themselves, and everybody was trying to plunder Earth, so they just did what they could to kind of pull a defense together and hold their own.
But to the point of
yeah, but that brings up the question, like Starfleet Command is on Earth. Where the hell did they all go? Did that blow up too? Was there a warp core at Starfleet Command?
Well, that's and also like you said, it was like kind of one of the cornerstones of the Federation, and therefore aliens were likely on Earth when that happened. Also, as my buddy Rob Burnett pointed out, all right, let's say that starships blew up, but there were still the star bases. And I just don't believe that there was a big communication blackout. That's why we need more information to explain beyond the ships blowing up how star bases couldn't contact each other.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
There's a lot of questions.
Yes.
That I have now.
But as you know, I have the answers. But I just can't
tell you.
I can't tell you right now. What? Fuck you. Man, not only are we going to put you in the brig, we're going to make you listen to Jet Reno nonstop. Be a wise ass. Yeah, you wouldn't be in the brig if you were so stupid. Oh, I know.
Are we going to get like a Jet Reno spinoff that's going to be like a Buck Rogers type thing? That'd be cool. Jet Reno.
Jet Reno reminds me of the Jetsons and Jet Screamer. Eep, op, orc, ah.
Did they name her Jet Reno because she looks sort of kind of like Janet Reno from way back when?
Oh, Jesus.
No? I don't know.
I don't know. I think they did because her face looks like a warp core.
Oh, my God.
I'm sorry. I shame on me. Poor Tignataro, cancer survivor.
I actually like her character. I like
do
her.
You really?
I do.
I got to admit, I don't. I got to.
She
I mean,
kind of reminds
I
me
wish
of.
her no ill will, but I'm again. It's just too easy.
She
She's
kind
just
of
an
reminds
asshole.
me. Her character kind of reminds me of Bones, really.
Right? Of course. Of
Yeah.
course.
So
She's an engineer McCoy.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I think that's why I like her. So there. How do you do?
But it's missing at least because Bones, yes, Bones could be ornery and cranky, but what balanced that out was his compassion. And yeah, she's not, I mean, all right, she's got her little flashes here and there, like she's messing with Stamets. I get it. I totally get it. But I just, again, it's Bones was much more literally wearing his heart on his sleeve. Not literally, because the organ did not, it looked like it was attached to his sleeve. But, he was just more, again, Jim, you're pushing. There's none of that's in Jet Reno. All you get is crank, crankety, crank, crank, crank.
Yeah,
Why
well,
is
her
that
back
so?
hurts. I get it. You ever throw your back out? It hurts. I'd be cranky too.
Langley has nailed it. The problem is everyone on Discovery is an asshole, so it doesn't. And it's true, man. Except until he's not an asshole, she's just dumb and scared. And Saru is just—I don't even know. Saru is just way too passive. And I don't necessarily believe in him as a captain.
I like the way he sways.
And I love Doug Jones. Oh,
I like
God,
the way
yeah.
he sways when he moves. But he really, yeah, he is much too passive. You nailed it right on the head. Yep.
I just don't buy it. And I know they clipped off his fear spore or his zit on his back that let him feel things or make him aware of stuff, but still. I don't know. And it's all right. Mitch says that his arms are cool. Yeah, I saw Doug Jones talk about the way they built his costume, and it almost has like a back brace weird thing to give him kind of a weird posture. And he does lean into that and play into that. And that's fine. I mean, he is an alien. I like the return of the bug-eyed crew member that sneezed on the white guy back in season 2. The guy that ends up dying in space, Pike's science officer. And they have that one scene in the turbo lift where I'm assuming they're going to get in their like little space pod and space suits to rescue Jet Reno. And yeah, the alien just like totally snots up the science officer. So, but again, what's his name? Don't know. Have no idea. It doesn't matter. It's bug-eyed guy.
I also want to tell Mitch that I'm very upset at him specifically, even though it's not his fault, that I was going to meet Doug Jones at his show, and that's his fault. That's his fault. I blame him.
And Jonathan Frakes too, although Jonathan canceled before
I've met
COVID
Jonathan
canceled
Frakes
the show
a couple times. Yeah.
So have I actually down in Orlando, and was really looking forward to and not that he would remember, but he told great stories. He told fantastic, not even Star Trek stories. He was not cosplaying. He was working for Marvel when they needed a Captain America, right? To show up and stuff. And he had that great story about being backstage at a Blood, Sweat, and Tears concert where they've got the writer with no brown M&Ms or whatever needs to be in the green room. And one of the things was that they wanted Marvel heroes when they played Madison Square Garden. So they had Frakes as Captain America and they had their Spider-Man. Nice. And he said it was really, really hot the whole for the night of the concert, and it was really hot in the green room. So they felt bad and they let Frakes take his Captain America mask off so he could be more comfortable. But Spider-Man refused to take off his mask, stayed in character, and would suck on beers through his mask. And Frakes just remembered that and said it was the funniest thing he had ever seen. Just beer bottles, just like filtering through his mask and stuff. Nice. So too goddamn funny.
Also, this episode was directed by Frakes, the third one, I believe.
Didn't notice that. That's awesome. I'm glad you noticed that. I kind of don't pay attention. I don't pay attention anymore to the title sequence, and I don't know why. And maybe eventually I'll get that way with Picard. And Lower Decks opening sequence made me laugh. I like the Discovery opening sequence with all the designs. I think that's cool, and I like the theme song. I do think that's well made. I don't know. I'm still, like I said, some things I've given up on. Some things I'm just still frustrated as hell. Obviously, here. Yes, absolutely, Langley. Thank you, because I did want to get to Giorgio. Why do they still tolerate Hitler Giorgio? What good does she serve? I get that they wanted to keep Michelle Yeoh, but I don't get it. Absolutely, man. 100 and or why does she care about this Michael Burnham? They keep implying that there is still, and even when Burnham is back, oh no, it's my mother figure. No, it's not your mother figure. No, this is an evil woman that used to eat people like Saru.
Maybe that's why.
I don't believe. Yeah, exactly. I don't believe the reality that they're establishing. I don't.
I agree with you.
It's stupid. And also, poor Michelle Yeoh. They give her because and again,
she's
I don't want this.
Badass though.
Oh, absolutely, it's great. No, it's like Jackie Chan. I mean, really, to be a middle-aged person and still pull off those moves is absolutely commendable. So, from an action standpoint, Michelle Yeoh still.
How old
delivers.
is she? Is she as old as we are, or because that would?
I kind of think so because
that would hurt.
Crouching Tiger was 20 years ago, and she wasn't an ingenue when she made Crouching Tiger. I will look that up. But while I'm doing that, I want to point out that they give her very complicated dialogue that I'm not certain if, wow, she's 58. Way to go, Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah,
good
that's
for
great.
You, buddy.
I mean, I hurt myself sitting down in my chair today.
Tying my shoes gives me back pain. Don't kid yourself. I know that's fantastic.
And maybe that's why we're talking about her show.
There you go. Warren got it before I did. Yes, indeed. So, born on the same day. Wow. Are you pretty impressive,
Warren, are you actually Michelle Yeoh?
No. Warren is a very talented Hollywood storyboard artist.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Mitch points it out. It sounds like her dialogue is forced. Well, the weird thing is, when I've seen Michelle Yeoh just being herself and interviewed, her command, and again, I hope this doesn't sound condescending, but her command of the English language is quite good. And then they give her these really complicated speeches, and maybe she's doing it on purpose. I have no idea, but it does. Her English always sounds more foreign coming from Giorgio's mouth, as Giorgio says these complicated things. And also, why does she have like an Italian name? Yes, Giorgio.
Well, why is Picard English or French?
French
or one of those?
Yeah, that's fair. That's actually fair.
Yeah.
Langley, the way Starfleet just brushed aside how terrible Mira Georgia is really bothered me in season 1. 100%, man. Totally. The opening credits visuals of the drawing is a cool idea, but the montage seems random. Yeah, I agree with that. All right, there you go. Warren Drummond. I'm a martial arts training.
He might actually be Michelle Yeoh in disguise.
As she was walking and talking to Burnham Wood. Oh, she sounded like her dialogue was forced as she was walking and talking to Burnham. Yeah, but every time she talks, oh, so it seems the odds are even. What? Yeah. All right. Whatever.
You have never heard of the irresistible force, meaning the immovable object?
Yeah. Exactly. Thank you for the direct dialogue. But also, again, when I've seen her just talking about being on it, she's like, "Oh, it's so much fun," and it's like, it's Michelle Yeoh from the East Side of New York. Yeah, no problem. I got this. Blah blah. And it's like, can't you just be like that? I don't know. And maybe I'm imprinting on me. I don't know. But whatever. It still annoys me. This character, again, they assume, hey, you're gonna love Jet Reno because she's got attitude. You're gonna love Michelle Yeoh because she's such a badass. And it's like, no, these are assholes. That's the subtitle of Star Trek Burnham should be AIS, assholes in space. Because that's essentially what this is. And then you could throw Mariner in there as well. So just assholes in space. Assholes in space with Saru and Tilly.
I love it.
But yeah, it really is. Oh no, they're edgy. They got attitude. All right, whatever. I don't know. Warren, are you liking Discovery? I'll ask you because you're a longtime nerd with good nerd credit. It's cool. I'm not judging, but I'm just curious. Mostly it's the bitch session here with me and the regulars that show up and are tolerating my frustration as I work out. This is really like, this is just a long couch session for me. I need Bob Newhart to kind of guide me through. I'm glad you're finally accepting that Star Trek Discovery is really just about Michael Burnham, John. So, yeah, and again, as Langley says, just wish that the material, the writing matched the quality of the visuals. Totally, man. Totally.
I don't know.
So, Mitch, I'll let Mitch talk about what he wanted to talk about next week when he's back, because he had another wrinkle to discuss outside of Discovery, but we could hold that. I'm trying to think if there was JMD Mateus is in the midst of a new IDW story for Star Trek, and I forget which iteration he's working with, if it's a next gen story or a Discovery story. I'm not really sure. But man, he's always been a great Star Trek comic book writer. So it's cool that he's back. And I did mention, I know on the last episode, my buddy Dave Baker and that great IDW Voyager miniseries that he's doing, Seven's Reckoning, that takes place in the fourth season of Voyager. And that's really great. And I've been meaning to scan the current paperbacks to see if there was anything interesting to read, because I do love reading well-written Star Trek. And also I have to say, and maybe because of my frustrations with Discovery, I haven't read any of the Discovery novels. And I even got the Audible for the first one because it was read by my good friend Susan Eisenberg, Wonder Woman from the Justice League cast. So, but there you go. Here, let's see.
I don't even get into any of that stuff.
You know why the dilithium blew up? Because Bulmer and Mariner worked in the design hundreds of years earlier. Let's talk instead about a real hero of Starfleet engineering, Miles O'Brien. That was probably one of the few laugh lines that did make me laugh on Lower Decks. So, yeah, DeMatteis is fantastic, Langley. I agree. He knows what he's doing. Admitted life isn't the same without Lower Decks. No, I'm relieved that.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'm okay too. That we're going to wait a year or so before we go back to Lower Decks. So, very funny.
Again, I don't want to seem like it's been total bitch fest, even though it has. But
no, there's still. Yeah, I'm still curious. It's all right.
Yeah, I want to see what happens. I'm excited by this season more than the other ones. But episode 1 was good. Episode 2 I thought was better, and then Burnham 3.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, I guess we'll learn more next week. But yeah, right now, I'm kind of stuck at like a 4 or a 5 out of 10. That there's enough there that will push me further, and I'll watch next week. But just not feeling it, man.
I think everybody should be prepared for the fact that we'll just end these podcasts like immediately after a really bad episode and just not go any further.
We'll see. We'll see. As I was explaining, I was on a guest on a movie podcast, and of course they sidetracked me into talking about Star Trek, new Star Trek, and really good host that likes Discovery. And he's like, and again, I appreciate this because I don't want to change anybody's mind. He's like, I don't disagree with the things that you find fault in, and I agree with that. I find fault in these things too. I still like it better than you do. And I'm like, okay,
that's fine. That's cool.
Yeah. But it's like, and he's like, well, what I like is you're not just, complaining like, oh, the old shows were so much better. And it's like, well, a lot of them were, but again, Discovery faults itself by just being so one story per season focused. And yeah, I mean, again, little things happen each week that make them kind of stand on their own. But it's and as Warren said earlier, here's hoping the Pike Show really are more self-contained stories, because these writers just don't do a good job at the overarching one story. And yeah, sorry, Burnham, I need time. I can't explain it right now. Bullshit.
I love it.
Oh, here Wayne asks, did Vulcan withdraw from the Federation? You would think, yeah. I'm wait. That's the thing. I want to hear where the Klingons and the Vulcans eventually are. Oh yeah, here the poor man's Ian McShane on episode 2 was a cool bad guy. Then he got his ass kicked and he left. Very anticlimactic. I'm surprised they didn't make him a crew member. again, I almost don't believe that that's the last we'll see of that guy. In that case, could very well be. You're talking about not Cal's brother. This is the Marauder that tortured Cal and killed Cal. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree, Wayne. Discovery will, I think, eventually go to Vulcan. It has to, given Burnham's bullshit ties to Vulcan as an honorary Vulcan. That really bursts into emotions a lot lately. I don't know. Good grief. I am Charlie Brown. Good grief.
I love it.
All right. Well, anyway, on that sad, pathetic note, let's wrap up. But we'll see what happens next week with episode 4 as we delve further into the mysteries of what happened after the Great Burn. And we'll find out more.
Maybe you hit it right on the head. Maybe that's why it's called the Great Burn, because it's all her fault, because it's Burnham.
Because it's always about you, Michael. It's always about you.
It wasn't really the Great Burn; it was the Great Burnham. That's what did it.
Mitch's friend said Discovery is now Voyager, except in time, as opposed to the Gamma Quadrant or the Delta Quadrant. And the basis of the Federation was Vulcan. Vulcan and Earth, absolutely. So, and Mitch says John Byrne did it. Of course he did. So, all right, there you go. Thanks a lot. We're done. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me gripe. Maybe it'll get better. Hopefully it'll get better. We'll see.
All right, listen, this is what I want you to do. Okay, I want you to go and I want you to get some sleep tonight. And then Mitch will fix his audio problems, and then we'll redo this episode tomorrow.
No.
Okay.
Next week. Can't do it again. Hurts too much. Brain hurts too much.
You get some sleep. You watch the episodes again. We'll do it again. Maybe you'll like them better.
Well, can I have this 5 days till next Thursday, and then all right, that'll help me out. All right, there you go. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Take it easy. Live long and prosper. Do better than Jet Reno and Burnham.
I love that we watched 2 episodes of Discovery and we're under an hour, but yet we watch 1 episode of Lower Decks and we're over an hour. I love that.
That's true. Once again, don't forget, everybody, it's Star Trek Assholes in Space. Take care. We'll talk to you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.